Welcome back to our channel. We are just a couple weeks away from living on our construction site full time, and we still have a lot to do. Now that the road is fixed and the foundation walls are up, we had a few things that we could get done this weekend to get us a few steps closer to that goal. This week, we were finally able to get our trailer onto the lot, and it was not an easy task. This is our 42-foot high country Montana that we will be living in for the next year or so while we build. As you can see, it's a beast. Just getting it onto the lot without scraping the bottom off was not an easy task. Fortunately, Mike's cousin Justin was able to help him with this since I wasn't able to be there until the next day. The next obstacle was this giant pile of rocks. We told the excavators that we needed a really wide entrance so that we could get the trailer onto the lot, which they did, but then they dumped a bunch of rocks on it. So the only thing he could do was get out a shovel. Even with some shoveling, it was still really tight and the truck had to be up in the bushes, but they were able to get around it and get the trailer up to the top of the lot.
That's obstacle 2. Ooh. We're just gonna make a wide sweeper and we're gonna come up parallel to the garage. We have to make sure that the nose clears as we're going over the transition onto the flat spot by the garage. And then we're pretty much home free. We just have to back it in place. Okay, now we have to get it into place. We have pulled the trailer up through the candy cane forest, and there is a place right here. Nice little pad, and we have a septic drain, and we've got water, and I'm gonna put electricity over there, and it's gonna be beautiful. But first, we have to get it past all the scaries, which are boulder, trench, foundation, uneven ground, steep hillside. So I think we can do it.
That's great. Yes, that's what they're for.
Oh, it's okay.
You can see here we have water and septic hookup, and Mike will be installing power here shortly, so we'll have everything that we need to live here full time.
Yeah.
We didn't crush anything.
No, it looks good, man.
And there it is in its little spot up by the garage, and this will be our home in just a couple of weeks. The good news is that the view from all of the windows is fantastic. The next thing we needed to do is seal the foundation walls. We used this asphalt emulsion sealer to paint onto the walls. It was very thick and kind of reminded me of chocolate pudding. Surprisingly, it really didn't smell that bad though. I was expecting it to be really intense, but it was really quite mild. My mother was nice enough to help me out with this task. She came up for the weekend and helped us out. First thing we did was went around and put a chalk line where we think finished grade will be. It has to come up to at least 6 inches below finished grade, but if it sticks out higher, we can always paint over it. This underground water barrier is really important so that if the water gets into the soil and then it's sitting against the foundation walls, it won't be able to seep through and into the house. So this is going to save us later from any leaking problems, and it really wasn't that bad of a task. I was kind of dreading this all week leading up to it, but it was kind of relaxing. It was sloppy painting because it's not supposed to be seen, and it was fun to hang out with my mom and just be outside and do something productive, really. It took us about 4 hours to go all the way around for the first coat, and it went by really quickly. This line I'm not really sure about. We're not entirely sure where finished grade from the back of the house is going to be. It would be normal to have a little bit of a step down out of the walkout basement, but right now it looks like the slope will be significantly lower when you step out from the basement. The next day, we had to go over it for a second coat and then also seal that bottom corner where the vertical foundation wall meets the footer. That's very important to not let water in underneath the foundation. Mike had to come and help us out so that we could get it done before it really started to rain on us, and he immediately got it on his clothes.
Already ruined an expensive shirt.
Well, the good news is that your shirt's on inside out.
Oh, that is good news. what a happy accident. It's inside out.
Staying a wheelie inside.
Okay.
You're so smart.
You did it on purpose, right?
SMRT kind of smart.
Right as we were finishing the last wall, which happened to be the most important wall since it's on the uphill side, it really started to rain on us.
Shoot. Just needed a half hour more. Come on. 30 more minutes and we were done.
My mother and I both did quite a bit of yelling at the sky, but the good news is that it's a water-based sealer, so the water should just evaporate out, and it actually made it thinner, and I think it filled into more of the little bubbles and cracks because of the extra moisture. So I think the sealing job went really well and we shouldn't have any problems, and it's done. So now we can work on getting the window wells in, and once the window wells in, the excavators can go and backfill. We can't start the actual framing until the backfilling is done, so that's very important to get done as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching and following along. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our next videos. You can also follow us on Instagram at Build It Bear Lake for more real-time updates on the project and where we're at. Coming up next, Mike is going to be installing some temporary power on the lot, and it doesn't all go according to plan.
Oh, shit.